Ahsoka has hit Wolverine status. They just put her in literally everything, because everything else is a failure. Except for my Mandalorian. Welcome to Voice of the Fat Mantis and my review and breakdown of Tales of the Jedi, episode 1 through 6. I emphasize episodes 1 through 6 because I have a feeling we're going to get a lot more of this, because this was high quality and amazing. But the one problem is, it's not actually an original show. It's actually a bookend to the Clone Wars. And you know what? Because there's so many characters in the Clone Wars, they can just keep bookending, infinitely going. And I'm all about it. I would love to see more Tales of the Jedi. In my original review of the trailer, I actually said I would love to see what they can do with it. They can do Tales of Sith. They could do Tales of Jedi. We could learn all sorts of things. We could see young Mace, young Yoda. We could see future Jedis. We could see Rey and Kylo Ren's love child that we all know he implanted with her using his Force palm in the very end of that non-canonical Rise of the Skywalker. We could see it all, and I would love to see it. I made that snarky comment about Ahsoka, and it's true that I'm not a hater. I just feel like she's in everything, and they're just constantly putting her in. And Dave Filoni and his side characters, and I'm just kind of over it. I am very upset with Star Wars right now. It's because they have fractured the fan base. There are people like me who can deal with Andor, deal with something that's different, willing to accept it. And there are people like this who need more Ahsoka. They want endless seasons of Obi-Wan, that garbagey CW show, and it's just never going to stop. And it's these little kids who are Anakin stans, while a more mature type of fan is on the other side, and it's just going to keep rupturing. Now, what they could do is actually play off of this, keep making shows like Andor, and keep doing stuff like Obi-Wan, and they can make all the monies. And that's perfectly fine. Now, before I go into each episode individually, I would love it if you smash that like button, give me a subscribe, and ring that notification bell for more Tales of the Fat Mantis and reviews. So, there's only 6 episodes, and strangely enough, I think they did it, I believe, chronologically. No, was it chronologically? Yes, it was chronologically. Sorry about that. It's done chronologically, which means there's an Ahsoka one, there's 3 Dooku ones, followed by 2 Ahsoka ones. Now, I think what they wanted to do is that they wanted to do the origin story, the very beginning of Ahsoka. Episode 1, we see young little Ahsoka and a tale of how her family discovers that she's a Jedi and that maybe she should go to the Jedi Academy. And it was a beautiful episode. It was just incredibly slow moving. That's going to be my continuous complaint about these episodes. Not only are these episodes only around 15 minutes long, but they really waste our time a lot by a lot of characters just standing around and feeling feelings. In at least 2 in a row Dooku episodes, there are times where Dooku's like, I'm investigating something, and he goes into a room or a place, and he's like, and we see him think. I shit you not. We literally get an opportunity to watch him just think about stuff. And we're watching him think. We're watching Mace Windu pondering what he's thinking about. They delayed every scene and didn't tighten it up because they didn't have much content. They didn't have much to say about Dooku, although I think if they tried, they would have. I really wish they were full-length episodes, and I wish more could be said about those investigations Dooku went on. You know, in episode 2, we go into our first Dooku one when there's a young qui-gon on his side, when they were actually actively Master and Padawan going across the galaxy, nighting it up. And they're trying to help a small farming community, or they don't realize they're going to, when they're investigating the abduction of a senator's son. It all turns out to be a conspiracy to try to make the senator care about his own homeworld, who he apparently has sold off to the highest bidder, to evil corporate stooges, or we're not sure exactly. But the corruption of the Senate is revealed, and his duty is to actually bring these villagers to justice, when really they're more of like freedom fighters than rebels, if that makes any sense. And these kind of gray areas follow throughout the Dooku. Now, I gotta say, it was great seeing young Dooku in 2 and 3. But I gotta say, and I actually would say 3 is almost not a waste of time, just not the most sophisticated episode in the world. We finally get to 4, which this is the really Dooku time to shine. It's Dooku and what he was up to during the Phantom Menace. I could have watched 2 hours of this. I wish those scenes were live action and we can actually put them in the Phantom Menace so that movie could have more substance. Because it seems that he was already in league with Sidious at that time. He was just ambivalent about joining the Sith or not joining the Sith. It's fascinating. It was good stuff. And then we get back into the Ahsoka thing. And I gotta say, like I said, I'm normally like a hater. I loved these last 2 episodes. You know, Ahsoka is overused and she is overplayed, but she gives us a good showing. In episode 5, she is reminded of a lesson that she was taught by Annie, Sky Guy himself, where he teaches her that you can't just train against battle droids. You need to train against worse opponents so that you can handle real bad situations. Because one day you may be fighting a group of people who are not just battle droids. And of course, he has her train against the clone troopers and hordes of them. And she learns how to deal with crowd control, using a gamer term. And then it immediately cuts back into the penultimate episode of Clone Wars when Captain Rex has to pretend to capture her. And she is about to face off in a shuttle bay filled with angry troopers. I friggin' loved it. Perfectly way to connect that whole thing. To be honest, that could have been put into an episode and it would have been flawless. It would have been absolutely flawless. And then the final one would be a little more of her an evolution into Fulcrum. Now she's on the run and she goes to some pathetic, measly farming planet. They like to ham it up about how impoverished and pathetic these people are, and she decides to work hard as a farmhand. She puts on her overalls that she wore during that horrible episode where she hangs out with those girls in Coruscant and they become a delivery service, but they're really drug mules. Yeah, this show can get weird. And so she's there and she's farming away, and of course there's some evil kid, some incel, turns her into the Empire, and that there at that point, the 6th brother, I believe he's the 6th brother. I don't like this naming standard. I wish they just had names so we knew who the Darksiders were. But he looks like the Birdman. He's like the Plague Doctor. I don't know if it's a mask or it's his people, but he gets to fight her, and it wasn't much of a fight. She bests him like that. I mean, he was a waste of a badass. And then she realized she needs to get back into the fight. That's also where she got 2 crystals, which we all know she will anti-bleed or whatever. Connect with them, turning them into white lightsabers. So it's all there. That's all a prequel for Rebels and Rebelness. I rather enjoyed it. It was a good time. And although I do get annoyed with the Jedi, it is good to see them here and there. They really are spectacular, and it was great to see. And I'm hoping that this is just season 1 of more, and I'm hoping they do more. Now, my guess is that they're trying to do 45 minutes for each Jedi. So Ahsoka got her 45 minutes. Dooku got his 45 minutes. Now there'll be other people. And I'm hoping that the future installments are not Luke Skywalker, are not Obi-Wan Kenobi. Although we could see more, we could see those later on. We've seen enough of these guys. We need to see other things. We need Plo Koons. We need all sorts of, Kit Fisto. Whoever. Make it interesting. Mix it up. We could do XR Coon. They could start canonizing the old novels for all we know using this series. I'm glad that it's here. It's almost like the power of Clone Wars is so powerful, it will never die. It is one of the greatest series, particularly animated series, of all time. The real question is, what did you think of Tales of the Jedi? Please let me know down in the comments. Remember to smash that like button, give me a subscribe, and ring that notification bell for all the tales of the Fat Mantis shenanigans. Until next time, ciao for now, and may the Force be with you.